The family of a man who died in a tragic car accident is now suing Google, saying the company's Maps app caused him to drive off a broken-down bridge in North Carolina.
I just struggle every day to understand how something so unimaginable and horrific could be allowed to happen.
It's been nearly a year since the dark and rainy night that beloved father of two, Phil Paxson, was driving home alone after celebrating his daughter's birthday when, his family alleges, Google Maps navigated him to the Snow Creek Bridge. He did not know and could not see, according to the suit. The bridge, located on a private road, had long since collapsed, leaving a gaping hole and swirling waters below. The next day, Paxson's vehicle was found overturned in the creek, with Paxson drowned. Lawyers for Paxson's wife, Alicia, say the accident was avoidable. According to the lawsuit, 1 year before the fatal accident, a different Google Maps user alerted the service twice that the bridge had washed away years before, saying the landowners around the bridge, quote, refused to fix it and that GPS sends people down here, which is especially dangerous for emergency vehicles. Those alleged owners are being sued alongside Google, referred to as the bridge defendants in the lawsuit.
Those responsible for our roadways need to know that inaction has consequences. We allege the bridge defendants failed to maintain adequate guards, warning signs, and the like to alert drivers.
Arguments echoed in their client's complaint. The alleged landowners did not respond to our request for comment.
If they failed to put any warning signs or even barriers to prevent people from driving on a bridge that had no end to it, then that's a stronger case for negligence.
Google telling NBC News, quote, we have the deepest sympathies for the Paxson family. Our goal is to provide accurate routing information in maps, and we are reviewing this lawsuit.
The key to this case is the plaintiffs proving that Google had a duty to this driver. Specifically, did Google undertake not only to give people directions, but also guarantee that they were safe directions?
Paxson's wife telling NBC affiliate WCNC she hopes the lawsuit can bring some closure.
We owe it to Phil and to his girls and to this community to find some sort of justice, if that's possible, and just to ensure that no other tragedy like this happens to any other family and any other senseless loss of life.
Jake is joining us now. And Jake, this gets at the idea of responsibility. And for a company like Google, massive company, maps all over the world, what responsibility they have on just this hyper-local level to make sure that their directions are correct.
Well, this is certainly a function of the enormous task that they have cut out for themselves as being sort of, one of the de facto ways we find our way around, Hallie. I mean, the local officials and the Department of Transportation in that state say that they don't have authority to do anything with that road because it's a private road. Locals have put up concrete barriers, but if you look at the way that the directions come up on Google, you have to look pretty closely. And if you zoom out too far, unfortunately, you can't see that that is a closed road. If you take it out a little bit further than that, it just looks as if you should do it. So in spite of the fact that that has been a gaping hole for a decade, Google still suggests that there is a road one can theoretically go over and pass through that same spot, Hallie.
So what should the takeaways be for people here?
Well, I think one of the big things to recognize, right, is that we have become extremely dependent on this kind of service. I mean, experts refer to the effect it's had on our lack of sense of direction as spatial cognitive de-skilling. I mean, we know, right, that London cab drivers who for years have had to memorize the city have, in fact, larger brains than the rest of us. It is a really important part of our brains to be able to know things around. So even though I don't want to blame any victims here, it's definitely a function of just how dependent we've become on this technology, Hallie.
Jake Ward, thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.